Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, and we are going to be learning about JavaScript, and I've basically started a series of lecture where we are going to learn about JavaScript from basics to advanced concepts. So I hope you will enjoy the video and it would be helpful for you. So let's get started. Whenever you sign up or create a form, you always see that they actually, if you enter in your first name some numeric values, they give you an error that write correct value, or if in phone number you give any character, they ask you to enter proper phone number with digits only, and so on. So that's about form validation, and this is a simple code which is given on page number 382, as you can see here. First of all, I'll tell you about all this thing. Basically, they are creating a table. Inside the table, the form will be displayed one field at a time, and form method is equal to post action is equal to add user.php. Like it is saying that when the form is submitted, it will go to the page which is known as add user.php, but we will change this because we are not talking about PHP right now. We are just on JavaScript. We'll make changes here. One thing is that event, this is one of the events that we are going to handle. It is on submit. It means when the form is submitted, when this submit button, input type is equal to submit, when this submit button is clicked, the form is submitted and it actually performs this action and goes to add user.php. So when the form is submitted, return validate this. Now validate is the function right here, and this tells about this forms. So when we give this, it is a keyword. All the elements of this web page, all this text box, this password, this username, this age, this email, everything goes to this validate function. Now the first variable is fail is equal to validate for name. Now these are 1 2 3 6 functions which are specifically made. First function is to validate the for name, second is to validate the surname, username, password, and so on. We will discuss these functions individually as well. So the validate function is called, and this validate function will first call the validate for name, and it will pass the value form.forname.value. What is this? Form is this form dot for name dot, this is for name dot value. Whatever you type in this text box will go to the value. Similarly, form, which form? This form. Surname, this is the surname field dot value. Whatever you type in this text box, it will come inside this field. Now what it is doing, it is using here fail plus is equal to fail plus is equal to. It means that inside it is merging the values or returned by all the functions in just one variable. So this one variable will hold value of all the items returned, and if fail is equal to this means if the user has not entered anything, return true, and if else alert fail, return false. It means that if the fail variable returns true, the form will be submitted. If it does not return true, that means there is some problem, there is some error. Then the fail, whatever is returned by the function, would be displayed, and false means the form would not be submitted. You would have to again enter values correctly. If you have entered all the values correctly, then you will get true and the form will be submitted, and you will go to the next page which is known as add user.php. Going to see individually these functions. The for name function, let's see the for name function. Here is the for name function. You can see this function validate for name field. Field will have the value that is entered in the text box of validate form name, and this is the output of that previous example that we did. And you will enter values right here, for name, surname, username, and clicking sign up and so on. So whatever user enters here in this for name, it will go to here in this function right here. And what this function is doing, you can see right here, this function, the purpose of this function is that it is a short function, and it is simply validating the values. For name means first name. Okay, if this value is empty, it is saying that if the field is empty, no username was entered, that's it. We just have to return this. So this what this is doing, this function is just checking for empty values. If the field is empty, it will return no forename was entered. That's it. That's the only purpose of this particular function that you have seen here is this, the validate surname, and then we have validate username. We will going to see these two functions. Validate surname is the same as the previous one. Validate forename, it is just checking whether the field is empty or not. That's it. The major functions now is validate username. Now we are going to check what this function is actually doing right here. This function is checking if field is equal to empty, return no user was entered. The first thing is it is checking whether if somebody hasn't entered anything in this field, so it will return that no username was entered. If field dot length less than 5, this is very important. Field dot length will return the length of the characters you have entered. So it is saying that username cannot be less than 5 characters. So if it is less than 5 characters, it will return usernames must be at least 5 characters. Next, else if this dot test field. Now test field basically accepts this input A to Z, means between small a to z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, underscore and dash. This condition is basically given. This is additional condition in which it is saying that only the characters A to Z are allowed, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, underscore and dash, it is allowed. If there is something which is not inside this range, then it will return these values, that only these characters are allowed. So this test field basically checks for certain ranges that are given. So this will check for empty name, field length, and the special characters that are entered. So the fourth function, which is named as validate password, and when we come over here, this is here validate password, and its details are shown here. Validate password. Here you can see that again the first check is if the field is empty, return no password was entered. If field length is less than 6, if the password length is less than 6, it should not be. That's the check they have mentioned here. It's totally up to you. If you want it, you can add it, otherwise you can skip it. If the password that is entered is less than 6 characters, it will give an error. Then again here, the way we did for our user name, we are going to test this field that if the password can only have small letters, it can have capital letters, or it can have values from 0 to 9. That's it. Apart from that, nothing can be entered. So if somebody has entered anything apart from these things, then this error would be returned. Passwords require one each of A to Z, capital A to Z, 0 to 9, and that's it. Like, it is making it compulsory that the password also contains any number. So this is the restriction, and that's how it is implemented here. About the last two functions, which are validate age and validate email. So for validating age, we have right here this function, and for validating email we have this function, which we are going to describe here. Basically it's like validate age. First of all is that is NaN. NaN is a function which is called not a number. It is checking if the age is not a number, then it is saying no age was entered. You can also use that empty one. If field equal to single quotes, you can also give that the previous function that is given. But here it is simply checking if it's not a number, it is giving the value. Actually here it should be written that the age should be a number, so they have written no age was entered. You can correct it. If field is less than 18 or greater than 110, so they have made a limit that the people less than 18 years old and who are greater than 110 years, they must not enter, sign up, and so on. So this is the limit of age which they have implemented. That's it. It's a bit easy function. And then email. For email we have to do a lot of checks. So for email, the first one check that is used here, as you can see, the first check is same as if field is empty, it will return no email was entered. If not, field index of. What is index of? Index of basically returns the index of whatever is given here. Dot. Now it is checking the index of dot if it is greater than 0. Basically it is checking if a user has started the email address with the dot, it is wrong. If the user has started the email address with @ it is wrong. So at least after 1 or 2 characters dot and @ can come. So they are checking for this. And next, same test field, small a to z, capital A to C can be a part of email, 0 to 9 can be a part of email, @ underscore dash and dot can be a part of email address. If anything apart from that is enter, a question mark, a slash and so on, so it will give error. So remember, index of bit basically returns the index of whatever is entered here, right? So you can know that where this particular character is inside a string. So that's it. We are now going to implement this, and I'm going to show the output of all this. I've written the code in Notepad right here. I simply copy paste all the code that was right here. This complete code I have copy pasted from right here, 17-1. Completely I have copy pasted 17-1, and then these functions from here, starting from here and up till here, I have also copy pasted them in the same file. I'll show you. Right here, this is the 70-1, and right after the validate function closes, right here I have pasted all the other functions from the other file up till right here. The remaining code is the same, there is no change. So let's go and see the output. This is the output, and we are seeing the form. If I leave all these fields empty, what will happen? Sign up. No forename was entered, no surname. You see, these are all the checks that were made. So this is form validation. As you haven't entered anything, you're getting these errors. So let's start entering. For example, I give 1 character, surname, whatever I give, Aisha, Iqbal, and then username I give this. Password I give 123. Age I give 12. Email I give in wrong format. Okay, so this is like I have given username in wrong format, password must be greater than 3 characters, age must be less than 18, and this is also wrong. So let's click. What it is saying, username must be at least 5 characters, password must be 6 characters, age we entered wrong, email format is wrong. Okay, so let's do something. We will now change it to more characters, and there's 2 more characters. Let's see what's the error. Only A to Z, 0 to 9, and these are allowed, and I have written C hash, numbers, whatever. So this is wrong. And again in password, at least it should have ABC, numbers, and mixture of all that. That's why it's giving me error. Age has the same error. Email address is again wrong. So let's add proper age, for example 19. Now let's see, the age error is removed. Okay, and now I will write Aisha at Gmail. Let's click. Again the email is valid because it is not finding a dot here. So let's see, .com, and here username Aisha131. Let's see what happens now. Password is still wrong because it needs characters as well, like this. Okay, sign up. Okay, I need a capital letter as well. Okay, sign up. Now it is sign up, and it is going to add user.php, but I don't have this file. That's why it is saying your file was not found. If you see right here, I told you that whenever you submit the form, it takes the action and goes to this particular file. Because I don't have this file, we haven't done PHP yet, so it is giving me error.